I want to talk about my trade on Bank of America Corp. I have two things to say before this. Firstly, this is not financial advice. Before you make any investments or any trades on stocks, please do your own research. Don't just listen to what I'm saying. I'm just sharing my opinion. And secondly, some people may disagree with my thesis. Now, I think actually that there's a buying opportunity here, perhaps at a little bit lower prices. So if you do disagree, if you think there's other things buy, it might go down even further by a lot, then please do comment below. And if you do agree with me and you think it's going to go up a bit, then also comment below as well why you think that is. Because I just want to try and get an understanding of, what people are thinking about the movements of the stock. And so I actually can learn from that as well. So on the day here, we can see it's pretty much traded sideways, and it appears to have been a bit of a sell-off in the aftermarket. And I believe probably tomorrow there's going to be a bit more of a sell-off. That'll be interesting to see. So I want to talk about a little bit about this bank overall. So if we go into the 6-month chart, we can kind of see, well, if you look year to date, it's currently down about 12%, and we can see it started off the year, it was doing all right, up until around about here, which we can see it kind of crashed basically. And I believe that's because back then we had the Silicon Valley Bank collapse, Credit Suisse was also an issue there. Basically, it seems like there was quite a lot of uncertainty around the banking market, and this kind of drove around stock prices. But it wasn't just true for Bank of America. I mean, look at US Bank Corp as well. The 6-month chart had a bit of a crash. So, this was just general fear in the banking market at the time. Now, back to Bank of America. Now, it was kind of recovering nicely up until this point here. We're looking about Friday the 11th, August, basically last Friday. And then this week, we've kind of had a bit of a slip down, basically. So if we go to the 5-day chart, we've had a bit of a slip down. Now, I believe that was because basically Fitch effectively released its warning saying that they might have to downgrade some banks. And if we go here, it says it even included the likes of JP Morgan Chase and I believe potentially also Bank of America, which is what we're talking about, and all of these top banks. And then I suppose that could create ripple effects across the whole sort of market for banking. So that's why there's been a lot of fear about this. And as well, I suppose, not necessarily right now, but in the longer term, the Fed meeting could also have a downward pressure on the stock. It's held from the 19th to 20th of September 2023. It could go either way, really, but I reckon we're probably going to be looking at having a negative impact on the stock, but we'll have to see. Which is why, with my investment, I actually put in some money. I believe it must have been on Wednesday. I put something on Wednesday around about these levels here, right? Obviously, it's dropped more since then, but my thesis is that yes, we're probably going to see some more dropping. There's been a lot of controversy, I'd say, about where it's going to drop to. I mean, we can just see people on here. So people are saying, let's have a nice 50 BPS drop tomorrow to put us into negative 30% year to date, and I'll start buying a wee bit. So, I mean, if we just look at the chart again, if we go to year to date, we're getting close to it being below 13. So, some people think it might bounce back over then. I think I saw somebody saying it might bounce back at about 28.50. So, it'd be interesting to see exactly how that works. But if you want to invest it, you've got to have a strategy. You can't just put your money in at one time and hope. So what I've got is I've put a sixth of the money that I want to put into the stock in already on the Wednesday. I might put another 6th day in, or actually maybe even a 12th day in on Friday. Another 6th or 12th on Monday. Well, I'll decide what I'm going to do. And then leave some behind so that when there is the Fed meetings, whether Fitch does downgrade ratings, etc., I can get in on that as well. Another important date that could also, I probably also want to hold money back, is upcoming earnings calls scheduled 17th October apparently. So that is another thing that also to keep money back as well. So after hours is down 0.2%, and people do predict it's going to go down quite a bit on Friday today. So it might be a good buying opportunity on the markets today, 17th October. And also, if we look at the ex-dividend date, which would be quite interesting, August 31st. It's not a massive amount. I think it's going to be, I don't know how they've declared it there. So it's 24 cents per share, I think, is probably what they're paying. It looks declared on the 17th, so 19th of the 7th, 2023. So, yeah, so I think it'd be 24 cent per share. So I think it's one you have to dollar cost average into. But I do think it provides an interesting investment opportunity at such levels. I think the intrinsic value is much higher, but that intrinsic value, it doesn't really matter unless they're actually going to pick it up, right? Because if you have an undervalued stock, but that doesn't really matter unless the market actually responds to that and picks the stock up. I mean, perhaps in these regions over here, we're talking about overvalued in these regions over here, but I think currently where it is now, below $30, it pretty looks like a good buy. And we can see that, people do know that because there was a bit of a resurgence when it went down that much. There was a bit of a resurgence back up again. So it just takes time. It's not exactly a fast, quick moving stock. Seemingly a little bit more slow moving than I don't know if it's true, but it just seems to be a little more of a slow moving stock than US Bancorp. Although having said that, US Bancorp seems to move in a similar pattern, to be fair. And I previously made a trade on them, and I made about a 25% return. So I'm looking to try and do a similar thing, but we'll see how it all turns out here.